I've got my trousers on today because we're going north of the border. In 1990, I went north of the border because I've been summoned for interview for the principalship of Edinburgh College of Art. Now, Edinburgh, as you probably know, is known as Auld Reekie because it reeked of smoke in the past. And so off I was to Auld Reekie. Auld Reekie, it's my city. There's so much you've got to see. From the Forth Road Bridge, Auld Reekie, good and cliquey. It's a barry place to be. In the Scottish Parliament, they speak for themselves, while the Prince's Street tourists play tart and tat from the shelves. Then to see Greyfriars Bobby, the buskers and the fringe, Holyrood Palace and the Queen when she's in Auld Reekie. It's my city, there's so much you've got to see. From the Forth Road Bridge, Auld Reekie, good and cliquey. It's a barry place to be. I'm Declan MacLeod. Welcome to the Caledonian Hotel. All 6 candidates appear to be here. So now this evening we'll take a few drinks and nibbles, and then at 7 p.m. we'll prepare for a buffet supper next door. This will be a chance for you to chat informally with our various members of the Board of Governors, and also, of course, with one another. I scan the room. We, the candidates, are grouped near the door. We are all men, 4 are in suits. I'm in a sports jacket from Bloomingdale's in New York, the one I wore for that interview in Wolverhampton. And there is one candidate in a kilt, and he has a big beard. Could be Queen Victoria's Gilly. The mingling starts, and before I can introduce myself to the nearest person, Dr. MacLeod, the Chair of Governors, slides over to me. I see you are Professor Vaughan Grills. I glance down at my badge. Yes, it appears I am. And you, I see, are Dr. Declan MacLeod, Chairman of the Governors. I'm very pleased to meet you, and thank you so much for calling me for interview. The cocktail waitress hovers into view. The chairman waves her away. Oh, don't mention it, Professor Grills. It is a pleasure. A pause, and then... So, when did you arrive in Edinburgh? Early this afternoon. And how have you been filling your time? Well, I've been pretty busy. I visited an old friend in Edinburgh, drove to my hotel, checked in, and then I went over to spend too little time at the Scottish National Gallery. Oh. Had you been before? As a matter of fact, yes, a couple of years ago. Yes. You must have noticed the changes. I did. It looks so much better now. Oh, yes. In what way particularly? Well, they've restored the gallery to its original Victorian glory, and, as they call it, and all those white cubicles and false ceilings, I remember, have been stripped out. Better now? Oh, well, yes. I sense danger, but can only plough on. I think the restoration shows off the historic collection more sympathetically. I see. Why do you think it does that? Well, they were never meant to be hung on brilliant white Dulux walls, wouldn't you agree? Actually, Professor Grills, I wouldn't agree. I'm afraid I was the previous director, you see, and I installed those, what did you call them? Dulux walls? Well, I'm sorry, but... Oh, no. Please don't concern yourself. You're entitled to your opinion. Look, over there's Lady Wraith. Let me introduce you. 7 p.m. A second man in a kilt enters carrying a large bell. He throws open the large double doors at the end of the room and rings it. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, your buffet supper is now served. Please make your way at your convenience through to the dining room. Thank you. I'm now at the buffet. Unusual to start with a plat principal at the buffet. I turn round. The chair of governors is standing at my elbow. Wrong-footed again. Oh yes, I decided to skip the hors d'oeuvre. I had too much lunch, I'm afraid, Dr. MacLeod. I see. Well, you do seem to have crammed things in, Professor Grills. Visiting a friend, large lunch, and then a bit of the National Gallery. Shame you are having to pass over the entree as well. It is very good. He gestures at his plate. I feel like pushing mine in his face and walking out. But I'm not bold enough, so I'll just counter. It's all very good, it appears. Spoilt for choice, as they say. Well, it should be. Edinburgh College of Art is very good. So I suppose this whole buffet interview is a fitting hors d'oeuvre for the main course tomorrow. Ah, excellent. Tell me, I was interested in your application and curriculum vitae from an Ivy League New England university to a Midlands Polytechnic. Quite, how shall I say, range? Very different experiences. So what would you say is the most important responsibility of a college principal? Sorry to jump that one on you before you delve into main course. Touché. Advancing the academic standards while remaining solvent. Not being the principal ambassador. We'll have to agree to disagree on that. Anyway, tonight is a social occasion, so I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at your formal interview at the college. The 6 candidates are sitting having afternoon tea in our hotel just off Gordon Square. We've been interviewed and now we are waiting a telephone call to the hotel for one of us to return to be offered the principalship of Edinburgh College of Art. Professor O'Brien! The Irish guy turns. Yes? Could you follow me, please? You have a phone call. He gets up, bows to the rest of us, and wearing his kilt, heads for the door. A festival city where the whole world meets. You could walk 500 miles, cobblestones to your feet, and when you are knackered, you can have Arthur's seat. It's a Barry place to be. Old Reekie, it's my city. There's so much you've got to see from the Forth Road Bridge. Old Reekie, good and creaky. It's a Barry place to be. In tall booths and taverns, you'll share stories with a smile, and when dusk descends, you'll walk one royal mile. For the skull of the bagpipes are calling on you. There's a castle in the air, and it has a tattoo. Why don't you? Oh, Reekie, it's my city. There's so much for you to see from the Forth Road Bridge. Oh, Reekie, good and creaky. It's a Barry place to be. Of all the jobs I have applied for, the one that I was most disappointed not to get was, funnily enough, Edinburgh College of Art. Because it was a grand college. It has a terrific historic reputation. It was a bit down on heel when I went, but of course it picked itself up. It's now part of the University of Edinburgh. But I did manage to go back to Edinburgh 20 years later when my younger daughter got into the university, and so it was rather nice to walk those streets again and reminisce about old times and about Auld Reekie. Okay.